Yeah, hey guys, and welcome to an X-Plane 11 premiere. So, slightly different to a live stream, as I normally do. Basically, so in the real world, because I know this is something I've done a few times in the past, but I know if you guys are new to the channel, so I'll go for another explanation. Basically, whenever I fly in the real world, what I try and do is do like a YouTube and Twitch premiere at the same time. So when I depart in the real world, I've got Thomas Cook taking off ahead of us. Looking good. Yeah, whenever I fly in the real world, what I try and do is kind of do a flight in the X-Plane or FSX, kind of recreating that. So I've already done this route, so in this case today I'll be doing a Stansted to Rzeszow flight. If you do a search for Ryanair 2136, let's confirm that, yes, Ryanair 2136, this aircraft I'll be in the real world and flying very shortly basically. So yeah, like I said, I'm just going to recreate the routes as I do in the real world, and should be quite exciting, almost like a race against real life, who's going to win, me or the sim. So I've got the aircraft here, it's set up in like a turnaround kind of state, so it's done a few flights today and it's now ready to do another flight, another leg, and in my case going to turn it around and get it ready for departure shortly. So let's go through the setup. Position has already been set, so taking off from Echo Golf Sierra Stansted. Gate, we are at 62 left right. Route, we're going from Stansted to Rzeszow, Echo Papa Romeo Zulu. Flight number, we are FR2136, plug that in, and runway for departure today will be 22. Path in it, no real sets, we go from here. So, we'll fuel up the aircraft now. I mean, the fuel truck is connected. Going to the right over here. So if I check our flight plan for today, we require how much fuel? 8,116. So weight and balance, we'll fill left and right. I don't think we need a center tank today, but I could be wrong. I am wrong, okay. 8116. That will do. And apply changes. Aircraft's been fueled up. That's all good. The fuel truck can now actually disappear since he's now done his job, so thank you. We will now go down to here, set up the ZFW and gravity and whatnot. Reserves are 1.1. We are Ryanair. The cost index of 23. So yeah, hey guys, welcome to premiere. Not live, so I can't exactly see what you guys are saying, I'm afraid. Cool, so cruising at 350, plug that in. Passengers will now start the boarding process in the background. So that'll be done by Smart Cars Virtual Ryanair. Looking good. And well yeah, let's go through the rest of the setup. So that's all fine, execute that. N1 limits takeoff, whoops. Go back, I need to go back to N1 limits, there we go. Takeoff will sort in a moment. On the co-pilot sides, we runway 22 on the Charlie November 8 Romeo departure. Go to legs, activate that, and now we'll plug in the rest of the routing. Should be on Ryanair, yes it is. So we're going to Artov. After Artov, it's Arnhem, followed by Romeo Kilo November. N, can't plug that in, that's fine. UL980. We should, nope, not database, okay. I mean, we are using a slightly out of date database, so fair enough. Adler, that'll be the next one we can input. That goes in. After Adler, it will be Advab. After Advab, it's Echo India, Echo Tango India, Tango India, Etiti, and then that should, again, flight level 1202, so it'll be on top of descent, and we'll be going to select our approach after that. Got 2 Ryanair aircraft at Stansted right now. I see 1 or 2 coming to land later as well, we'll see. But besides that, sun is now setting, and we should have a fairly nice evening departure today. So I'm quite happy with that actually. It should be quite a calm, relaxing flight. Well, the route set now sets 10 degrees of flaps, which apparently we won't let us do. not in database. Try again, shall we? Index, takeoff. Surely you can do 10 degrees of flaps. There we go. Center of gravity, plug that in. The V speeds go in. So it'll be a 138 rotate. Input that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cruising altitude is 350. So we'll set everything up for 350. There we go. And on the overheads, we'll plug in at 3.5 on the pressurization. Apply that. There we go. So, since we are doing 8 turnaround flights today, it means that there's a lot less setup going on right now. We will need the center of fuel tanks, and there is fuel in center tanks. Otherwise, everything else looks pretty much ready to go. APU, we will now stick in the start position. There we go. The aircraft will slowly power up now. Make sure there's anyone online as well, just in case. There is a Heathrow approach and a Speedbird guy as well, neither of which we'll be contacting, which is fine. So if we make sure we don't run to 2.8, we can do just that. 1.2.8 already active, 1.2.8, that's fine, both on COM, actually on COM 2, that's fine. Everything else looks good to go. So in a moment, APU power will be stabilised like it has done, ground power come off. We will now close the exits since passengers would have done boarding at this point, and the ground services will remove GPU and remove the chocks. At this point we'll now be disconnected from the ground, and in a moment we'll soon be ready for departure. Backstar ILS information is still set from the last time we flew into Stansted, which is a bit of fun. Right, so everything now looks good for that. APU's on, so it's on the APU bleeds. All hydraulics, heating, all set as required. In a moment we'll start our push and start. So we'll request pushback, or pre-plan it even. Pushback won't request for a few more seconds, in fact it's already saved it, so accepts that.
Plan acknowledged, call me through the menu when you're ready.
That's all fine, everything looks fine. He accepts the flight plan in case he wants to do that. Looking good, flight is set, and just in case we'll also check it on the plan mode, so stick onto that. Step, 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 step. Last waypoint, and then just going to zoom out. I should be able to see Rzeszow not too far away from there. Not quite, but Rzeszow is a bit of a, not so much an interesting approach, but you've got a bit of a tight one coming in. We go to squawk box and file flight plan. Yeah, that is the last waypoint. Pardon me. Right, so what we'll now do is start up. We'll turn on the anti-collision lights. Strobe's not yet. Logo will require since it's now night time, and everything else is fine. Now request pushback, and we'll start getting ourselves ready into position.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Ground service I can get rid of now before I forget. Show control widget or drive away. Yes, that will now leave us, and in a moment we'll start our pushback and make our way to the runway. So we're departing around 6 o'clock. That is when we depart in real life, and therefore we should be alright for matching up. So map mode quickly. It's all looking good. We did get what's it called? We did get OpenStreetMap working in the end. I had a slight issue with it last time I was flying. That's fine. In fact, OpenStreetMap should give me a comprehensive ground detail here at Stansted. I don't know if it'll give me gate numbers or not, but yeah, it'll give me the terminal numbers.
All doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Sounds good. They'll cancel the aircraft, and we'll start our pushback. Flight directors need to be on. Have a quick water. There we go. And the aircraft will now be slowly raised. We should see that happen in the background quickly. As I say, expecting quite a calm flight this evening, and the sunset should add a nice extra feeling towards the departure tonight. Parking brake now be released, and we shall start our pushback, ready for our flight today.
Pushback, and you may start engines.
Sounds good. Now pushing back, engine 2. We can start up. So keeping on the engine heat, once that hits 18, we can then start the fuel flow, which will then ignite the engines and start it up. Engine 2 start. Looking good. Left hand side. So I'll be sitting on 24F in this aircraft. So actually this will be my view right now. On the right hand side of the aircraft. That's the cockpit view. Now that engine 2 has ticked over. We can now do the same for engine 1. Engine 1, sorry, starts. Alright, that's both engines now started. That's actually in position because the mouse is still dragging there for a moment. It's all looking good. ACAR's tracking everything as it should. So is project flight.
Complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set. Both engines sorted. So now bring power onto the aircraft. APU will now, engine bleeds on. APU bleed off. APU off. Left hand side, flaps down to 10 degrees. Aircraft trim needs to be at 3.72. There we go. And TCAS we can also now start up. Disconnects is fine. Passengers now getting the safety information in the back. Let's make sure that seatbelt sign's turned on. It would probably be useful. And yeah, there we have it. So, ground crew's now disconnecting.
Tail is disconnected. A bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Pushback tug will now clear the area. APU is now shut down. That was the slight quieter engine there, just disconnecting. So taxi lights come on, strobe lights now come on. It's now announced that we're taxiing runway 22 Echo Golf Sierra. Bear in mind you are on Unicorn right now, Stansted 1 to 2.8. There are a few aircraft on the ground, potentially 1 or 2 on approach as well, so we do need to just keep an eye out on those that are coming to land. Looking good. Probably should have done the flight surfaces check as well, but hey. Yeah, it's going to change our direction as well slightly, so make sure we're still on the taxiway. But other than that, everything looks good. So continue our taxi. We'll hold short, check for any aircraft approaching, and then we shall depart ourselves. And then as for Rzeszow scenery, I have got some Drawyah design stuff going on there. It is a Drawyah design for FSX and P3D, but unfortunately I can't quite afford the FSX the X-Lane version at the moment. And thanks to the the power of XP to FSX, FSX to XP, I've been able to kind of port over a slightly buggy version of it, but it looks good nevertheless. It does look good, so I'm quite pleased to have it actually. Quite chuffed. Anyhow, it's an evening UK departure that we're interested in right now. I'm sure it's going to look good. It'll definitely look good, especially with the Orbex south going on in this area. We'll have some nice scenery to look at. Right, so holding short, placing on the parking brake, holding short, runway 22 Echo Sierra Sierra. Any aircraft approaching. While we wait, we'll turn on the landing lights, taxi lights off, turn on. Rejected brake tape set. Everything else looks good. We are active. In fact, I may just turn up the panel brightness slightly, kind of give us a little bit of a extra view while we fly, because I do need to be aware that this is a nighttime flight. No, not that lever, sorry. I wanted this one. Circuit breaker and panel, and on the front here it will be the background light and main panel. Right, departing runway 22 Echo Sierra Sierra. No one's called out, which means runway is cleared for us. Time is 18:01, so in the real world we'll be departing around this time, which is always good. Actually put a bit more pace onto it, since we're going very slow at the moment entering the runway. Everything though looking good, including the invisible borders around each tree ahead of us. Right, we are now in position. Thrust up 50%. Both engines are stable. Throttle up. Make sure the packs are on actually as well. That'll probably come in handy. Probably, so that passengers may breathe in this aircraft, you know. V1. Rotate. Come on. There we go. Gear up. I do love the sound of the CFM56, the proper buzzsaw you get with this. Flaps up 1. Slightly turbulence, but we'll manage that. 400. VNAV comes on, so does LNAV and autopilot. Fuel lights comes on already, which means sense tank is now depleted on takeoff. 1000. Keeping on the throttle management. So it's the flaps. The aircraft should, in a moment, go onto its course there. There we go. That's why the auto throttle get this next in there. I'm not too sure, but it seems to be fine now, so we'll continue. No, obviously not. Continue for now. Heading seems a bit off, so we'll go on the manual heading, just get us on course. Flaps are now up. Since we're below 10,000, I'll keep the aircraft at 250 knots. That. It's not too much of an issue right now since we have just departed. Once we are back on course and back on proper VNAV, I'm sure we'll be able to get the aircraft back on its proper ATC. Proper routing, sorry, ANAV and VNAV. There we go, 080. That'll get the aircraft into an intercept. Stansted Airport just behind us, looking good. See around the map a little as well to get our current position based on the map. There you go. Comes the moon. Actually, we're at moonrise right now, which is quite interesting. Actually, yeah, if I can position the camera right, not quite actually, they are complete opposite sides from one another, but yeah, got just the very top of the sun there, now setting, with the moon will slowly rise as we continue our flights. I'll try LNAV and VNAV again. Keep it on 250 then, just for the sake of throttle management. It's odd, maybe it's my joystick messing around with it. That may be the case. I know it says she has a bit of a spiking on the throttle. It's not disconnected. So I think that is just maybe my stick causing a slight VNAV issue there, the throttle. This is spiking basically, so in fact let me try to get the suspect on the screen. There we go, kind of. This is the green screen thing's just going to block it. But yeah, the throttle at the back of it, is it on there? Kind of, not sure. Basically the throttle's on the back of it, and it is a little spiky at the moment, probably get a bit of oil or something on it. But obviously the auto throttle, it was enough for the auto throttle to disconnect the interaction, so I think we'll just have to live without it. Besides that, everything else seems functional, and in a couple of moments we should start to continue our climb again. I know that out of Stansted, especially on the Charlie November departure, we usually spend a couple moments at low altitude, 4,000, before we do continue our climb. As long as we have got TCAS and everything set, we should be alright. Throttle's going up slightly, so we have lost a bit of speed. Increase again. By the time we get to next waypoint there, Delta 267 uniform, we'll be able to go up a bit. I will say, in terms of Flight Simulator, I'm not the biggest fan of Charlie November departure, but in the real world I have done it once. Well, I've done it a few times, but I've only done it once, like proper low altitude from departure, and it's a pretty good view. It's a pretty good view. So when I went to Stockholm last year, we did Charlie Lima November. It's like a 4,000 for a couple, something like 10-15 minutes at 4,000, and yeah, the view was good. The view was definitely good. We are now at our next climb, so the aircraft will start to spring into action again. Up to 5,000, and should be a couple moments of high speeds. They've taken a bit of a knock from turbulence. We are bouncing around slightly. Again, nothing that the Boeing 737 can't handle, fortunately. Maybe not the highest tolerances when it comes to turbulence and whatnot, but it does a pretty good job. It does a pretty good job at it. That cannot be denied. What I do want to have to do is go to Fly Bluer, macros, and that. Just go to the, no, not quality, sorry, FPS. Just to save a bit of frames on there, keep things a bit going smooth. Now our next climb should be shortly approaching, there we go. So 5,000, 6,000, and we'll also leave the final bit of the SID, the standard instrument departure. We'll then be able to climb a little faster. Gets to cruising altitude of 350. Still on Unicom, no one seems to be active in the area. These are a few quiet flights. Very steep climb this actually. In fact, what I may do, just to speed things up slightly, if I reprogram that to say 10,000, the aircraft should then start to go for a standard climb. Standard altimeter, we have now passed 6,000. There we go. The aircraft can now continue to climb as normal. So once we reach 10,000, we'll be able to kind of sit back and relax a little bit, and then for about an hour and a half, I'd say, maybe a bit less than that, I'll then be able to just kind of go through cruise, and then we'll be able to go into our approach into Rzeszow. Hopefully, we do have a 2-7 landing. Bear in mind this airport doesn't have any stars. Interesting to see what kind of approach we get into the airport. In fact, while we do continue to climb, if I quickly stick it onto the tablet over here. ILS frequencies, SAT frequencies there. Any one has a landing frequency, runway 27, ILS Cat 1. Runway 09 does not have a ILS frequency or an RNAV or anything here. Well, it does have an RNAV, but we can't really connect to that. In short, what we do with an RNAV is you connect to the ILS frequency for the opposite facing runway, but then there's no auto landing capabilities. You will have to disconnect at 1000 and then guide in the aircraft for the rest of the approach. So we're at 10,000 now. The landing lights can now come off. We'll actually have to see that sign now, since we are fairly sure the aircraft is stable. And I will turn on a dim dome light, just have a bit of extra lights in the cockpit as I continue this flight. As I can now zoom out on the PFD, get a bit of a range for the flight. Top of climb, it should be around the time we are over the river, the English Channel, or around Norway even actually. There we go, now continuing climb. Now leaving the United Kingdom very shortly. Coastline actually wouldn't be too far away from us here. Go back to the map. Where are we? We are, yeah, just around the coastal area here, south of Felixstowe. Although, getting a bit cloudy now. I know we can actually just about see the coastline forming below us. Is that a beach? Yes it is. There we go, Felixstowe to our north, although we have now left the United Kingdom.
Panel just above your head, and we'd like to remind you that this is a strictly non-smoking flight, and all toilets are fitted with smoke detectors. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight with us.
Bit of Amsterdam traffic contacting on there right now, EHAM traffic. I'm sure Ryanair's cabins are not quite as well fitted out as this. But hey, like I said, the main thing is this is kind of this is about as close to the view I'm going to get in real world as I can get right now in the flight sim. Yeah, so slightly shaky departure that, I will be honest. But once we do get the spiky controller sorted out, yeah, we got there. We have got that. So we'll continue our climb. And shortly we'll then be ready to reach 3.5. sit back, let the aircraft cruise, and then we'll plan out our landing once we get closer towards Rzeszow. Flight's fairly direct today. It's not like we're having to avoid much of France or anything, so once we've completed the Netherlands, we'll be over Germany, across Germany, into Poland, where we start out off of descent, and then come into land. Schedule time is to pass 30 minutes. We can easily do it in about 1:45 to 2:15, or wherever the winds are like at the moment. In fact, it is a slight, well, it's a fairly strong headwind actually, 45 knots, 292. So we should actually do alright for winds. We may get there a little bit earlier into Stansted, which is always good. So as we know, Ryanair, low fares made simple, and when 90% of all flights landed on time, beating every other European airliner. Ryanair, lowest fares, the best on time record. So as we continue our flight, things will kind of just get darker and darker, since again it is quite late at night right now. Well, actually not really, it's not late at night, it's just because the sunset's really early. I mean, what is it now? It is, ooh, something just jumps there. It is 6:15 now. There we go, it's 18:15. So it's not particularly late, it's just we found out we are around winter time. The sun just sets a little bit earlier. Never realised that Warsaw is actually slightly north of London. I just thought Warsaw and Poland were a bit slightly south, but no, obviously not the case. PA system. We're not quite at level off, but we'll do some sort of communication to passengers later on. Everything else though seems fairly fine. Like I say, airport's fairly simple. We've got our stats here. We hope to go for 27, but we can do a runway 09 landing, that's not a problem. In fact, it will be slightly quicker in, since we are coming in from that side, so that'll be a quicker landing. They kind of depends on what weather we've got. What is, in fact, let's do a quick double check at Rzeszow. I said that wrong. Yeah, weather's fine. Winds are 10 knots, turning to 10. So actually we'll be going for a 270 landing here, if that is the case, landing 27. Slightly windy, but heading into 210, we'll get a nice headwind on that. It's a slightly slow approach as well, actually. So as you know, weather can change, so we'll see what gets determined for us once we're coming to land. Just looking at the moon though, the moon is looking fantastic. And just a reminder as well, guys, since this is a premiere, it does mean that I am flying this aircraft in the real world right now. FR2136. I'm currently heading to Poland right now as we speak. Just noticed my altitude there just dropped all of a sudden. Yeah, I've gone into a bit of a bump, so I will turn the sign back on again. So that kind of clears out. Like I said, I am fighting the real world. And Poland for a week break, bit of a holiday, just kind of recuperate from work. So yeah, it's nice to kind of like recreate the real flights in X-Plane and FSX like I always do. As I said at the start of the stream, this is my first time actually doing Stansted to Rzeszow in X-Plane 11. I always used to do it in FSX, because I had the PMDG 737, so high quality aircraft there. Plus I had UK 2000 Stansted and GTX design at Polish airports, all in one, meaning scenery at both ends as well. Although nowadays, thanks to Zybo being pretty good and me spending a lot of time in X-Plane, and very much a thanks to FS2XP, which allowed me to convert my old GTX design scenery into X-Plane 11. Although at some point I will probably buy a GTX design Polish airports Volume 1 for X-Plane, just to get all like, the native support updates and whatnot. I mean, that's kind of the best way to do it. But for now, the products I've got, very much worth it. can't afford to upgrade just yet, so I'll keep my standard old version, just with a slightly... Actually, I don't really know what the developers' opinions on it is. If they condone it, if they're against it, I'm not too sure. I mean, when it comes to Drawyah design, they've been pretty good with, like, update service and whatnot. I mean, they are one of the few developers that did convert their sceneries to Flight Sim World. That was after I did that little tutorial on how you could convert airports into FSW from FSX, and I used Post Airports all in one as like the example for that. So yeah, probably the easiest way that they found out about it. So you never know. I could have been the main decision behind that. But no, as I'm saying, it's nice to kind of have it cross-platform and whatnot. My overhead is set as required. That's looking good. We did turn a pact on the end. Yes, we did. Like I say, probably best not to suffocate the passengers. But besides that, slight, I'm not saying errors, just last minute moment. As long as I turn it on for 10,000 feet, then I'll be fine. At 10,000, the problem with depressurization. But yeah, as long as you remember before we took off, then that is fine. You remember when I streamed Alicante to Stansted, we turned it on about 8,000 feet last minute. Ooh, why is that switched off? We'll get there, we'll get there. Aircraft are going through a light about sidings right now. So I'll keep seatbelt sign turned on a couple of moments. In fact, let's just stick it in the position of the moon. Let's see how I can do this. We have a really big moon or a really small Orion there. Go for a micro view. Slightly cloudy below. In fact, that may just be water. Just flying over the English Channel. We've got the is that the reflection of the tablet? Avitab. Okay, so I've got the Avitab reflection going on. If I do it from this hand side, you got the PFD there in the window. So at least we know that the reflections are real inside the passenger windows, just not quite where I'd expect them from. So if I go to over here, you know, I cannot actually find the tablet. So passengers get a bit more review than I do. Almost concerned that, isn't it? Bear in mind that in this scene I'll be the co-pilot, and at some point pilot in command, and therefore probably should be able to see the tablet from where I am. And yeah, we're over the English Channel, about halfway through the crossing now. The altitude is coming up to 320. There we go, crossing it now. And yeah, continue our cruise as is. Yeah, I'll probably start talking a little less now since we are coming up to cruise. And again, this being a premiere, I've now got 2 hours to talk to myself, basically. Fill in just time. I mean, it's like I've got a chat window just above my head this time. It's about there, yeah. None of that this time. There's no tip jar. We don't have a tip jar because I am still not live. So if you do donate, subscribe and whatnot, then thank you very much. Much appreciated. I just won't be able to see it until I land. At least go onto Wi-Fi. Okay, notice the tablets there change with the clouds changing as well. Should be alright. In fact, we are now coming up to cruise. Don't really need the logo lights lining from the tail. And that's it on. Yeah, Ryanair logo lit up. But yeah, once you are taken off, it's not really required. All it's just doing is burning extra electricity. To generate it requires fuel, of course. Right, 350, we are now at cruising altitude. So what will happen now is that the speed will catch up, and once the aircraft is satisfied with its cruising speed, so about 0.78 I believe, 0.78 or 0.771. 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 Oh, we actually use up all the legs of this flight already. Sheesh, okay. 0.771 then. Very almost directory there actually. That's fine, although we do need to get our approach into that as well, to kind of just fill in the gaps basically. I mean, like I say, Ryanair don't really have company routes in the real world, so to that side, it's just program it all in by hand. Obviously, you don't exactly have much of a route, so who knows where that's going to put us. I'm not sure F-Plane's ever done evening lighting rides. This almost doesn't look right with the sun being completely down. I don't think the moon reflection, as much as I'd like it to be like that, the moon's not that bright when it comes to reflecting light back into the Earth. Looking good though, now that you have proper contrails, not thick black chemtrails that kill all the pandas and polar bears. Their climate changey ways. We should soon actually be flying over the Netherlands and therefore have more scenery to kind of look at down below. If I want to go passenger view, I actually have to turn the tablet off, which can be achieved by doing that. Maybe not then, the tablet just can't be killed. If I go to a fairly black screen, so if I, that's the loading screen there, still a map, Abby tab, charts, still a map. Yeah, I've got a feeling that this tablet's not quite fully reflective on the screen. X-Plane may have dynamic reflections going on, but in this instance it's not quite being used right now. So it's now 18:26 on the Zulu clock, 19:26 on the aircraft clock, because we now have crossed over a time zone. Time jumps now forward. We have now been airborne for about 25 minutes now. Yeah, I've been premiering streaming now for 43 minutes, shy of that, so it does add up really. My FPS is being a bit jumpy right now. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes not so. I guess just due to OBS taking up so much in the background as always. Some like scenery from Netherlands going on here. Though no way near as nice as it used to be, ever since that London Research changed their night lighting from full 3D volumetric to 2D flat textures. I've always been against that change, and I'm afraid I still am. It just doesn't look good, Laminar. It just doesn't look good. I can see why I've done it, due to frame rate and whatnot. But look, if I just zoom in, it's just flat, bland, dead landscape. The motorways are being still 3D, yes they are. Besides that, it's just, I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Actually, you tell me. I'm not a fan of it, but you guys may differ. You may like it. You never know. You never know. But for me personally, it's a no. Having so has died down now, so I am happy to turn off the seatbelt sign. Let passengers roam around the cabin once more. And right now my system is chugging it a bit. May cause a moment or two to reload. I do apologise, but I need to kind of give my system a little bit of a breather, and therefore not lag out so much. Because remember, X-Plane11 it does require at least 20 frames per second to run. Anything faster, you're fine. Anything slower, then it just physically slows down the entire world. and therefore your flight time's longer, although in the sim it still thinks you're going normal time. In the real world it's like 5-10 times slower, which is not what you want to be doing, let me tell you that for a fact. So yeah, that was to comply with FAA regulations when it comes to simulators and whatnot. But in the world of just fun flight simming and whatnot, I wouldn't mind an option to disable that, if I'm totally honest. And I guess it's probably hard coding to explain ever since I remember they talked about that actually during the interview I did with Philip from Laminar. Basically, it's just an FAA requirements they put it in. It was a part of to be used as like a real trainer. So when what's his name created Explain, what's his name begins with A, Austin Meyer. Basically, so he would be able to explain predominantly to kind of like help him train for his real world PPL. And yeah, when they FAA was certifying it, they said that it needs to have something about 20 FPS, because that's kind of human reactions limit. Anything slower than that, then in order to keep the reaction speed the same, then they need to physically slow down the simulator. So again, I presume it will be hard coded into the FSX. It will be hard coded into Explain 11, but not quite something we can disable, I'm afraid. Anyhow, that's loading in the background now, reading new scenery files. Fingers crossed it won't take too long. We still have the stats at the very top of the screen, just up above, so that won't cut out or anything. ETA is 1948. In fact, let me check my real world ETA. 1948. I land at 21:30, so that'll be Zulu time. 20:48. Yeah, we are set to land supposedly about 42 minutes early at current times, so I'm not complaining really. That's pretty good time, that. Hopefully, like I say, Explain won't crash or anything. It's just going to take a moment to load scenery. I will be honest, one thing I've never completely understood about Explain is just the fact it takes so long to load scenery. I mean, I don't really have that much going on. I mean, I have got Open Scenery Europe, I believe it's called, Open Scenery X Europe, so fair enough, that's probably the one taking a bit of a loading, but surely they can't cache it, can't they? Kind of make it quicker for this time. There you go, loading, so finishing asynchronous loading. For me, however, on the desktop view, I am stuck at updating at your update to match your rendering settings, because right now this is frozen. Okay, I've actually gone and frozen the entire thing by doing that, including my webcam. Let me try and bring my webcam back to life. If not, then I may have a problem here. Alright, well the webcam's dead, I believe. Just trying to reconnect. So no, it's come back again. Done with preloading, and the sim seems to come back to life. My face is re-zoomed in for a second there, now it's popped away. Seconds. My face will zoom out very shortly. Yep, hi guys. Seconds come back. So as long as my frame rate's now better, kind of, yes it is. Just giving my very creepy zoomed in face a seconds to come back to life. Give it a second. I do love it when my system kind of gives up on me. It's my favourite part of the flights. We still have controls at least, so I'm not losing out on that. As for the webcam, I may need to restart it again, just to be sure that load properly. Right, so webcam's now off. Webcam's now back on again. Tool now loading the background, which is sorting out the green screen and whatnot, as well as the zooming, which is why I am so obscure right now, so far in the corner. If that won't get working again, then I have no idea what I'm going to do other than maybe zoom out the camera. Suffer the watermarks on screen. There you go, there's a watermark right there. Already invading the screen. I've never really had a loading issue with this tool either. Let me just hide the webcam actually, just so it doesn't get too creepy if my face is at the bottom corner of the screen. See, may not be a live stream this. It's almost as interactive for one for sure. And that's my FPS. No visible change that really. OBS I still believe is a way too heavy program for what it does. Force restart webcam now. I hate doing that, but if I'm out of options, then it is basically the only sure way to keep it going. Any luck with this thing? Answer is not likely. CPU is now completely maxed out there, 100%. The camera's now gone completely. There you go, we've now sorted the FPS problem at least. I've just gone and killed every single program I've got access to. As for the camera, that now seems to be loading properly. Fingers crossed. As you can imagine, I don't quite trust it yet, so keep that rolling for a moment before I decide to give up on it or not. No, as long as you've got the main frame rate issue going, getting around 23, 24 frames, which is not all bad. I've done worse in the Flight Simulator. namely FSX, 10 frames per second if I was unlucky. Although this camera is not loading anytime soon, so I may have to reinstall this. There was an update. It's not a driver issue. It's not a source issue. Okay, well I guess I'm going to have to do this without a webcam. I do apologise for that, guys. So if the webcam does not want to be my friend, then I'm afraid there is literally nothing I can do about that. I'll deactivate the camera for now. Camera is off. Hindsight now will at least save me a couple of CPU processing powers. Downside, you won't be able to see my face anymore. I mean, I'm not exactly much of a downside that, but hey, I'm still here, guys. I'm not disappearing anytime soon. How is my dome lights actually as well? Dome lights seems busted. In fact, most of the lights on this aircraft now seems busted, including my tail lights. Night vision does still work at least, so guess we're not completely out of lights. I'll check the passenger cabin in a second. Fingers crossed the passenger bulb hasn't burst or anything as well, because that would be awkward. Seal sign is off, I believe. Yes, it is. Lavatory, that's fine. No one's saying lights up here, isn't it? Yep. Well, that's all dead. Passengers, on the other hand, still have some very dim lighting going on right now. Not much. Ooh, stood up right on a turn there actually, so I'll sit down again. Yeah, just going up to around 500 nautical miles to arrival. I'm fairly sure, yeah, we're still set for 210, so we'll go for the ILS to 7. And we'll just see how that affects our landing. At the very least, it means we have more of a flight plan sorted out. And therefore the aircraft will be able to better judge an approach. So zoom in. Step. Yeah, we'd need something with a bit more of a turn going to it. So arrival or scrap. Yankee, we'll try X-ray. Nope. So what I will now do is this Rzeszow 1. Raise. Yeah, I don't actually know what the difference is between the three ILSs, X-ray, Yankee, Zulu, XYZ. Never known the difference between them. Well, if we select one for now, and if I use Sky Vector or something, I think I'll just use it on my phone, it'll be a bit easier. But basically, if I go for EPRZ charts, find a waypoint to kind of stick in the middle of that, basically. Or even find another approach. A Ketu. Let me try a Ketu. A-K-E-T-U. Plug that in. That does fill the gap in quite nicely, so if we execute that, we've got top descents there, and a decelerate there. Ketu needs to be up 5,000, 164,000, that. 41 nautical miles, that's fine. That is fine. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that approach actually. Thank you, charts, for actually being useful, because, you know, I don't exactly always use charts in flight sims, so, yeah, I'm not exactly your pro pilot, something that I'm sure you guys will know by now. Especially with this, webcam, the back, or I'm going through at the moment. Come on, give me a green screen tool. Why has it died all of a sudden? It used to be pretty good, and actually, as I look at my frames drop and I load it, very FPS heavy. I might actually need to go for something else, because... Hang on, so let's hit road in the background, see what happens. Okay, I'll keep a mental note of that number. If I deactivate it, let it all die. We've just gained about 6-7 frames from that actually, so... Whoops, no, cancel that. So, I now know what causes my FPS drops. Okay. Okay, right, well, I now know what's caused my problem, and I need to look for an alternative. Basically, so the tool I've been using for my green screen background removal, I've just discovered is very CPU heavy. By turning it off, thanks to my webcam failing on me, I have now just figured out what's causing it. So, yeah, I may actually have to now try and invest in a green screen. Oh boy, that's going to be a challenge. That is definitely going to be a challenge for me. I'll figure something out, but like I said, now I actually know what the cause is. Meaning I can now work on the solution. Yeah, I'm now up to... I've just gained like 10 frames by removing that. 10 frames at least. Who knew that this live stream would allow me to discover so much about myself and my sim. Go to the map, and let's go into my thing. So we're now in Germany. Now in Germany, and we shall be... We're only one country away from Poland, our final destination for today. So yeah, have all the bulbs in the cockpit blown? Apparently so. Apparently so. They're just generating light or something, because that's what those textures there represents, the actual light bulb themselves being lit. But unfortunately, X-Plane for me has gone and given up on its own night lighting and shaders as well. So yeah, I'm still working on the next plane. I think that's known fact. Although at least I now know some a few more tweaks, kind of get things going again. My webcam's definitely actually quite surprising. I wasn't expecting. Right, so basically I use a tool called Chroma Cam, and basically it acts like a virtual green screen to remove the background from my video. Well, I expected to use some GPU to kind of get rid of that. I never actually expected it to be so CPU intensive. So while it did make for a very useful tool at the start, it has kind of dropped too. Hang on. He replies to go on eBay. We had a few late deliveries from this guy, but he did get it in the end, so that'll be nice. I'll give him a reply. And I'd like to give him a probably a neutral for the actual delivery, because he was very late with that, but the very most yeah, should be alright. There we go. Yeah, just sorting out a few things in the background, but as I say, overall, it's looking good so far. So, now that that's been dealt with, I can go back to our flights across Europe. Right now over Germany, not sure what that autobahn that would be down below, but it's something. If I really want to, I could probably turn up my settings in the next one again, but I don't want to go for one of those slight breaks like I did a couple of moments ago, so I think I can probably live without mess around the settings again tomorrow. Just kind of bring things back into order. I don't know what's causing the lag. I wonder even how much also a green screen would cost on eBay or something, and it would be something that should hook from the roof like a sticky pad and just bring it down. I'll figure out the logistics around it tomorrow, like I say. I don't know the solution. Now I know the cause, I can work on the solution. I don't really want to go for a background because my room is actually the biggest in the world. As a result, my background is a little messy sometimes. So, yeah, of course, I kind of prefer the green screen effects, and therefore you can kind of see what's behind me on the panels and whatnot. So, we can live with that. Heck, I could talk for so much right now. I'm probably expecting no more than 0 views though at the moment. Like I said, my premieres ain't exactly always the most viewed, and so well, there may be 1 or 2 lurking around. I hope. I'm not expecting much. I'm afraid, not expecting much. Hand on heart, just cry in the corner for a bit. I mean, at the end of the day, this is basically a live stream, just without a live, or the stream. This is a premiere. So the video, how premieres work is, so same thing on YouTube and Twitch. You upload the video. So you upload it to Twitch, you upload it to YouTube, and what it is, you schedule it at a time. So in my case, it will start at 5:45, sorry. Yeah, it passes at 6, so 5:45 it starts. And it'll stream for about 2-3 hours, depending on how long the stream actually goes for. I'll probably say 2.5. And then, yeah, once that's done, the premiere comes to an end, and the video just kind of appears like a normal one, again, both on Twitch and YouTube. Although on YouTube, it'll just look like a normal live stream form of video. On Twitch, on the other hand, unlike a live stream where after 2 months it will disappear from the videos list, the premiere will actually stay there forever, because again, it acts as like an uploaded video. And as a result, yeah, it just doesn't ever disappear. Which is why, if you're still interested in watching my flights from London Heathrow to Helsinki, I flew that last year, including my return flight, which I never actually flew on because of my lost passports. Yeah, those are available to watch as well. Yeah, good times, good times. Stuck in an EU country without a passport. I'm glad it was an EU country, because if I was elsewhere, then I would be screwed. No, seriously, I'd actually have no means of getting home. I'd be stuck at the embassy a lot longer. And, yeah, having to go through the whole process of getting home. Pro tip, always keep a scan of your passport. If you don't have your passport scan, you're not going anywhere. Once you will go anywhere, it just takes about 2 weeks longer to kind of determine your identity, and therefore they're not so keen in helping you as quickly. At the end of the day, the UK does want to get a UK citizen home. It's in their nature, but This is very dark over here. We should turn up the brightness of the co-pilot side. There we go. And up here maybe. Is there a switch? I don't know. No, I'm going the other way. Yeah, so at the end of the day, the UK is keen to get a UK citizen home. I'm British. I have a right to be here in a way. In a way, yeah, I've got a right to be here. So yeah, it's their duty to bring me home if something goes wrong. A lot of countries wouldn't do that, if I'm totally honest with you. Being a Brit, it's almost... I mean, being a Brit, compared to most countries, is about as good as it gets. I mean, fair enough, we just ignore the Brexit bits right now with all the EU stuff going on. In fact, Brexit being at the end of next week, yay, yeah. I'm not going to say I got this week, and then the week after that, yeah, Brexit, March 29th. And then on March 30th, actually no, I fly on March 29th, I return 30th, so I'm off to Norway after this. So yeah, quick heads up of future flights. So today I'm flying to Rzeszow, next Sunday I return back to London, Saturday after I go to Oslo, the Sunday after I go back from Oslo Torp back to London Stansted. Then in mid to late April, I go to Biarritz in France, where I then spend a day there, take a bus, 2 days in Bilbao, and then return back to Biarritz for return flights back to London. And then on the 10th of May, I have 2 flights. So I'll catch a Ryanair from Luton to Athens, and then from Athens I spend a couple of hours, so I'll probably go to the zoo or something. That seems to be the most likely thing I'll do. I'll then go from Athens to Lemnos in the Q400. So that flight I'm quite excited for. I've not been in a propelled aircraft with passengers. I mean, yes, okay, I was in the microlights last year, but yeah, I've not done a proper propeller flight in a couple of years. Pardon me, couple of years now. So when I was very young, I did a flight to is the microphone alright? It seems to be picking up a lot of noise. Okay, noise seems to be gone. I don't actually know then if you guys maybe didn't hear anything of what I said the last couple of minutes, because my microphone has just been a bit funny. I'll double check that in a second. But yeah, okay, so as I was saying, so I land Greece, I then spend a couple hours in Athens before taking a flight from Athens to Lemnos on Q400. Last time I did it was in a Eurolot back in like 2004, so yeah, not something I've got any memory of at all. I've got like 1 or 2 like screen caps in my mind of what it was like on the Q400, but besides that, not much, not much. Yeah, a bit of traffic, or a few people talking from Amsterdam. Although not too many left, I presume. Not much left talking in this area, I'm sure. Like I said, in a little bit. We'll start seeing maybe some Polish traffic. Well, actually, I say that, I don't know who's even flying at the moment. If I quickly use Project Fly's radar. Find my position, which is currently central Germany. I'm actually making really good time today. Central Germany. Stick on that sim. 784 users. Where I am, 424 Romeo. A few aircraft in my just ahead of me. Leipzig's got 2 aircraft as well. And after that, Warsaw's actually got a bit of traffic going on. And then someone over there, Echo Alpha Golf, is doing some rather hectic flying actually between Warsaw and Gdansk right now. He's heading back, forth, back, forth. In fact, I'm pretty sure that on the map right now. There you go. Just some hectic flying. He's just jumping back and forth. Not quite sure what he's aiming at, but well, that's what he's doing right now. So, besides him, which in my case, make sure my flight is still tracking as it should. We did disconnect from that sim a moment ago, but we should, yeah, do appear alright. Gosh, I'm not sure what this guy's doing either. Let me stick that on the screen as well. CRJ2, Lufthansa CRJ. My guess he's doing a private flight, alright. He's doing some rather interesting hops. Took off from Paderborn at Lippstadt. Means we find to Budapest, although he keeps jumping back and forth from wherever this is, central points. I presume he's trying to do some sort of sky arts here on Project Fly. I'm sure once he finishes it, it'll look quite interesting, but in different shades of blue, there's also different bit of altitude as well, so he's definitely climbing, descending based on that as well. Yeah, this time of night, we've always got a few people flying around, a few chavs in the X-Plane world. You know what, I think actually, yeah, there's a few flights that are like that. It may just be an issue with the flight recorder at the moment. Oh gosh! Yeah, okay, I'm now fairly positive that this is just broken, because a FedEx 727 would not be doing this right now. As much as I hope and would love to see someone do this route. Got a random plane, that's a bit buggy. Click another random plane. That actually is a bit more viable. You're not flying. United Arab Emirates plane. Again, face and yeah, okay, so some being a bit funny, some not so. Okay, this one's being a bit funny as well. Gosh. Gosh. Am I missing some sort of VATSIM events at the moment? Because that ain't right. Yeah, like I said, so a bit of some traffic in Germany, some traffic in Poland, but not much particularly going on in my way at the moment. So we're just over halfway through our flight now. Although top of descent won't be for a little while still to come. FO Papa Whiskey Romeo in about 220 nautical miles. So we'll be in Poland within, that's Wrocław, so about 200 miles from Poland now. Yeah, there you go, Wrocław just over here on the map, so gives you an idea of where this place is compared to Echo Papa Whiskey Romeo just ahead of us. And after that, if I zoom out, top descent's about 340 nautical miles. There you go, time till arrival, 58 minutes, total flight time, 58 minutes. So we are bang on 50% of the way there, if I show you my stats. There you go, Echo Golf Sierra Sierra to Echo Papa Romeo Zulu, flight time 58, total time arrival 58. Okay, 57 now, so we are jumping a bit closer. Bit of overspeeding when I was having the slight throttle mess around. Besides that, we are pretty standard. It's all looking good so far. It's all looking good. Like I said, nothing too much to worry about. As long as we can sort out the engine throttle spiking and the green screen effects for the camera, I'll be alright. I'll be alright. I'm also very glad to know that OBS isn't quite as much of an FPS killer, but my webcam is. My webcam of all things. It killed at least 10 frames for every flight. For every stream I've done since. All that lagging you saw in the past? No, that wasn't my system. My system's well above its... Well, this is actually pushing well above its weight there. This system shouldn't really be running X-Plane to this level, but it does pretty good. It's kind of a testament to X-Plane itself, how well it's running it. So, yeah, I can't complain on that regards. It's a pretty good job at that. Not too much to look at. Just clouds. Got a bit of a gap going down below on the left hand side. Even still then, not too much going on down below. Zooming once more back on the PFD. And eventually our top of descent, even approach, will start trickling in the distance. What was it 267 nautical miles until the next waypoints? And even then, that is actually after top of descent, so I'll be descending before then, maybe around 230, I'd say, that given the miles. Yeah, 366, 365, 280, 167. Yeah, around 330 will be at top of descent. We actually able to see that sign on or off. It's currently off. Because I know turbines has definitely stopped since earlier on, so not complaining too much on that regards. Aircraft's fairly standard, passengers are relaxed, passengers are probably sleeping at this point as well. What would I be doing? I'd probably try and watch a film or something while on board. Just kind of save the time. Yeah, it's actually, a film I've been looking at recently. Don't know much about it. It's not Disney, but The Cat from Outer Space. The trailer of that I saw on YouTube not so long ago, and it looks like the most... it looks like the weirdest film ever devised. So, yeah, probably give that a watch. I don't know if anyone knows it, but, an old cartoon on Disney XD? Yeah, I believe it was an old Disney. Kid versus Cat. Basically, an alien cat from outer space. What's the name? Adopts it. Lives the family and the kids. And the cat fight out basically every episode. You guys will know it if you know it. Has that kind of undertone to it. So, like I said, I thought I'd give it a watch. Try and find it on Netflix or something. Or even in my case, which is a bit easier, grab it off of Google Play Store, rent it for like 99p. Few people talking about the Q400 by not Quality Wings. Who develops the Q400 for FSX? Hey Google, who develops the FSX Q400? That's useless. Not Quality Wings. Who is it? Super obvious. I'm gonna kick myself for the not knowing it. Majestic, the Majestic Q400. People talking about that on the Smart Cars chat right now. Although for me, since like I say I'm really starting to push towards X-Men 11, I'm more waiting for the Q400 V2 by FlyJSim. They've put a few like sneak preview shots of their like modelling and whatnot going on their Discord server and not Discord, sorry. Their news sites, and I think they put on FS Release as well. But yeah, quite excited to see how that goes. Although if it doesn't release before May, then I'll have to do the premiere for those flights on the Q400 V1. I'll definitely go for the FlyJSim one. I don't think I'll go Majestic. As much as I'd like to look into P3D, I just feel a lot more at home right now in FSX. Sorry, no, X-Men 11. I keep getting them mixed up. It's just the X. It's the X that does it for me. FSX, which I used for 10 years. X, Plane 11, which I'm new to. They're both flight simulators. I will forever get them mixed up. Yeah, for me, it'll be a case of landing the aircraft, bringing the stream to an end, having a shower, and then heading to bed. I've been streaming, well, I've not been streaming, but it's quite late now. By the time I land, it will be even later. With that being said, it'll probably be the time I was expecting to sleep tonight. Maybe a little later, have a quick shower, Then wake up ready for work in the morning. Probably a bit tired in the morning, but I'll live. And then tomorrow, being where I am, it will likely be a day. I've got to finish off a presentation. Then I've got, well, this is for me to about today when I'm recording this stream. Yeah, I'm recording this right now a week before I fly out. Obviously this is a premiere. Tomorrow morning I'll be relaxing because I'm on holiday. No, I'm talking about me in the real world, where tomorrow I've got to still go to work. I'm finishing off a presentation. Then I believe it'll just be image editing for the majority of the day as well. So maybe not the busiest days ever actually. As long as I get a presentation done, I'll be basically home free. That seems definitely picked up a bit of traction actually. It was 700 and something a couple of minutes ago. It's now just picked up to 1070. I guess that's in the US. There's a few more people coming online. Just look at my departure from Stansted earlier. That's my stats right there. Use a Drawyah, Sim, Delta Yankee Alpha, blah blah blah. 45 minutes time to arrival. So fairly standard. Pushback from gates, all looks good. We depart. Have a slight throttle issue and VNAV and LNAV and whatnot, so we get ourselves on track. Around here I then realise that's my actual throttle, my physical real world throttle that's messing up, so we'll turn that off. We idle the throttle on that and keep things going. All looks good, we're still flying, still climbing. We get to cruise and then just get to sit back, relax, enjoy the flights. So soon to enter Poland, not too far now until we reach the German-Polish border. And also does mean that we are not too far away from top descent either, so keep an eye out for that. You go top descent about coming about 220 nautical miles now. That's me like 225 there, but yeah, not too far until we start reaching towards the outer boundaries of Rzeszow. Check the weather again. Winds are at 210, 16 knots. So the winds are actually getting stronger out there. QNH will be 1006 when we get there as well. We'll always do another weather check once you pass 10,000. Once you reach that, will be when we are on completely focus of landing mode. Just get the aircraft down. No tower ever goes to Rzeszow. Only during the Poland events, once or twice a year. No traffic either. It'll be a clean sweep when we come into land there. And hopefully with a fair bit of nice scenery as well, thanks to Drawyah Design FSX. Ported over rather crudely to X-Plane 11. And I will say, it was a slight pain getting the conversion done. The try before wasn't working too well, but eventually I did almost not. I was going to say I cracked the case, but no, I didn't, because I used the legitimate copy I own. But it's more like I found a breakthrough in getting it scenery ported over to X-Plane 11 from FSX. Basically, there's a certain trick. So you have your normal conversion file, which will just be your scenery folder, and then you have the additional sim libraries, which while I used to put it into add-on scenery, in reality you're meant to stick it in the global scenery folder, because that's where the extra libraries are. So yeah, that was the breakthrough I found, which converted the scenery perfectly. So the only thing we miss out on is the VFR scenery. It's night time, we won't see that anyway, and I can always use Ortho to get that across. And you also miss out on some lighting, but not much. That can always be fixed later. And you miss out on the bumpy runway, so it'll just be a flat runway, I'm afraid. But even then, it's not too much of a loss, I guess. Fair enough, X-Plane is built for bumpy curve runways, but in order to get some of my old sceneries across, it's a sacrifice I'm willing to take. Taking one for the team, just get a nice little sim coming across. Well, and that's it. I've just noticed that my aircraft has aligned with some ILS beacon ahead of us. So what I will do is go to init ref. Use 30 flaps landing as usual. 110.30, 265. 110.30. Do it the cheat way even. Using off the Stansted ILS, which is 110.50. Was it 265? And whoops, 265. So by the time we get over to Rzeszow, that should then establish itself into the localizer, and then we can use that to kind of guide towards the runway. We'll then do a manual landing, don't you worry. But just use that to kind of get us onto the glide slope. Get on the throttle there, it is now adjusting itself. In fact, I think slightly lessens, just to kind of burn less fuel. Fuel wise are alright, 5,000 both tanks. Slight imbalance again, engine 1 seems to burn a little faster than engine 2. But that again, an issue with the physical world controller, where engine 1 seems to be slightly ahead than 2. I believe that's just the second throttle that spikes. I mean, it's got 2 throttles. One. That's odd. Hang on, we'll let that fly in a second, but throttle 1 controls them both. Throttle 2 just moves 1. That shouldn't be the case there. Which means I've now got the fun job of having to completely reconfigure my hardware to get this all working. Something obviously is going to miss, and so I just need to kind of get that back in order later on. So yeah, with that also throttle, get the speed back up again. No, it shouldn't take too long, the engines will then stabilise once again. So, question is, have we crossed the border? No, not yet. So we are currently looking at the German town of Wiesenberg, Wiesenberg-Vosburg, Wiesenberg-Vosburg. Wiesenberg, Vosburg. On the border, we'll see Rothenburg, sorry. Just before we do cross, and yeah, once we do, it'll be kind of obvious. There we go. Rothenburg, Oberliausitz. Here comes the aircraft. Right hand side and look down. And right about, where's Rothenburg? So once that town crosses us, we'll then be in Poland. Border slightly north here as well. Yeah, there we have it. Welcome to Poland. So we have now crossed the border. It's only a short leg left to go. Rzeszow being, yes, to the east of Poland towards the Ukrainian border. Let's get that on the map, shall we? Zoom out. There it is. Airports to the north. There it is. So this will be the airports we'll be landing at. Landing on this end, runway 27. And then of course the terminal up here. This being the, hang on, where is it? Yeah, the former Rzeszow airport just had this one taxiway. No tarmac there, no tarmac there. It was a short parking spot up in the middle, with this being the entire terminal complex. Then they built the new terminal with EU funding, upgraded new like taxiways and whatnot. This taxiway system over here is new, hangars are new and everything. This turnaround bit was always there. Then they built the G2A arena, the games arena there. Then they extended the car park for more traffic and new people coming in. And then they, last year, so very recently, doubled up the road. So this dual carriageway here is very new. It used to be a single lane road, so yeah, they have very much upgraded Rzeszów in the last year or so. ETA on the clock, 35 minutes. Top of descent. 180 miles. No, 160 miles corrected. just trying to think. Last time I flew to Rzeszow, we did actually need to go into holding pattern once. I think it was due to altitude. I'm not 100% sure. Basically, actually no, we never descended at that point. We just held. I guess maybe then due to other traffic. But yeah, I flew into Rzeszow, and just to the north of the airfield, we did have to do a quick loop. Only one loop until we're then on our way, ready to land. But yeah, I don't think I'll need to require it today. Don't think I need to do it during the stream. Well, hopefully not, because I know having to reset my scenery a moment, about an hour ago even, did kind of slow things down ever so slightly. Not by much, but it was definitely enough to kind of add a couple more minutes. It was like 3 or 4 minutes to my in-sim time. So when trying to recreate the real-world flights, FR2136, then yeah, maybe a little bit behind right now. Well, hopefully not the case. If you guys check Flight Radar 24, like I said, I'm on this aircraft in the real world right now. You can track my real world flights based on that. There you go, so top of sense now crawled back onto the screen again. As we slowly follow the, in fact the very same motorway that actually goes in through Rzeszow. So you see the slightly thicker orange line there, the Autostrada. Goes through Tarnów, Krakow, goes through Zabrze. When I went on there last time, went through Katowice, which I just will go through as well. Pole, through Wrocław, Legina, where it then takes a turn south through Görlitz into Germany. But yeah, it's the very same motorway from Wrocław to Rzeszow. Or in my case, we're just going to fly it all. Whoops, did not want to zoom out though. With that being, whoops, okay, I'm messing up now. If we just zoom out from the map quickly and bring that back to position. Can even do one more possibly. Okay, not quite yet. Once we get over towards Opole there, we can do that. We've set our landing and everything set up, so we've got a, I'll say a start, we've got an approach sorted. The Ketu being the mediator waypoint for us. Descent's also been planned as well, 167 by Etiti. Got our approach reference sets, you know our flats, you know our speeds. Got our frequency sets, 103, 265, so yeah, double check that, 103, 103, 265, 265. Everything else, wind correction plus 5 knots, that's fine. Wind speeds should still be fairly similar to what I found out earlier. In fact, I'm not even recording any winds at all at the moment. Blank, blank, blank degrees, blank, blank. I'm surprised by that. We should normally detect some sort of wind. We should be alright anyways. We actually are apparently connected to Wrocław ILS. Have a look at that. So airport, that's Rzeszów. WO. WR. There you go. Wrocław Stratowice. 110.3. Fair enough. They actually have the same frequencies for ILS. 291s though they're heading with 265, so that's the one difference. QNH1002, QNH1003 for us. Let's close that, refresh that. Okay, wind speeds 5 knots, 120. So actually the wind has now calmed down for us. The weather was updated how long ago? Okay, yeah, that's actually not been updated in a little while, and clicking refresh doesn't seem to change that, so I'll do a proper weather check just before I come into land, as well as increase checking our ILS information. So, actually, yeah, something that I normally talk about during these live streams, but I haven't actually done so yet today. What exactly will I do in Poland? I mean, plans are I get there, and well, let's say for the main part, it'll just be to relax a little bit, stay at home, recuperate, and well, one day we'll be heading out to Lublin, which is slightly north of where we're staying. We're quite a large city in Poland. Quite a famous one as well, historic, and yeah, get a chance to walk around the old city, probably with my grandmother there. Other than that, I don't know if I personally have any other plans for that trip. I'll probably head out to the village once or twice, the actual main centre of where we stay. Kind of see what's going on there. And besides that, yeah, that's about it really. Not too much I can think of at the moment, but like I say, Lublin is definitely one of our goals. Maybe we will also head to... No, we won't go to Katowice, we won't go to Rzeszów. May go to the next village, see some family, but... Depends, because when it comes to Poland, because I'm Polish, I'm half Polish from my mother's side of the family, So it really comes down to what my mother plans to do while she's out there, and what I can tag along with. I'm sure I'll do something else as well. I'm not going to Poland and spend a week there doing absolutely nothing, don't you worry. Last time I wrote a Autosan bus, remembers that vlog. In fact, how many views does that video even get? I don't think it was my most viewed, but it was definitely one of the videos I was most proud with. When I was out in Poland, Autosan Drawyah. It's got 245 views. 268 tells me even to click on the video. So, oh wait, no, on that one. Oh yeah, that is start of the video. Okay, yeah, so got 268 views as that one, which for my channel is slightly above average. I mean, as I say, it's not my channel ain't the most viewed in the world. It never will be. I never say it will. I do YouTube just because I enjoy it. No doubt some of you guys do really enjoy my facts videos and whatnot as well. So for a video to get 300 views on a subject that no English person would ever know about, a old bus in southern Poland, within rural Poland, like I say, it's nice to give it a bit of recognition. The Autosan, talking about its history, where it came from, and kind of just where it grew. As I said, the Autosan was built out of the Soviet Union, requiring Poland's roads to be... They couldn't afford to rebuild Poland's roads, so they were quite rough, bumpy and whatnot. So they need something that could connect the rural villages together, while at the same time just filling in for the gaps. Yeah, so a lot of history goes into this. Yeah, I'm just watching that video now. me talking to the Polish driver expertly. You won't get any better Polish from me than that. With that being said, in the UK, my knowledge of Polish is abysmal. Although in Poland, I'll speak it out as if it was a first language to me. I think it's just down to the fact that when I was younger, the first couple of years of my life, I only spoke in Polish, exclusive Polish, never spoke in English. Then, as I started school, I kind of dropped Polish, but spoke English natively there. And yeah, it's just a case of, as time went on, my Polish kind of waned, my English improved, but when I am in Poland, because I'm surrounded by everyone speaking Polish, that's when my speaking just gets better, I guess. It just improves and everyone understands it and whatnot. You know what I mean? It's like when I'm surrounded by the certain environments, then of course I'm going to mix with the said environments. It's just like, it's almost like a psychological thing even. So now under 60 miles from top of descent. Very shortly when I start focusing on our landing. Yeah, so another passenger requesting something from the flight attendant there, just like ping a moment ago. Though not too far away, to the top percent. In fact, like I did say I was going to speak to the passengers at some point. I've completely forgotten to do that. I'm sure I can say something before we come into land. Top of descent, I'll say something 100%. You can keep my word on that. If I fail to do so, then you have full rights to unsubscribe from this channel and never hear from me again. Now, while I try and find Rzeszow, which is actually a bit further south, and I was looking, there we go. So, we're actually getting quite close now. Having this tablet here, in comparison to the PMD G737, which didn't really have any EFB of some sort, it's nice to have that little extra thing to, I guess, play around with, keep me occupied during the flights. 40 miles to descent. ETA 1959, so that will be, I'll check my flight reports again. That will be approximately 31 minutes until I'm scheduled to land, so we are early, definitely. 21:30 we went to land. That's based on Zulu, so 20:59 is ITA. 21:30 is our scheduled landing. So we'll get good timing in. I think that even with the 3-4 minutes scenery reload earlier, that shouldn't have affected our time by much. In reality, it just comes down to what time I depart in the real world, and how quick I'm able to get out in that sim when there's no traffic around me and not coming to land. If there was other traffic around, then fair enough, I may have to sit back and wait a couple moments. Because while my flight on that sim departed at something like 6:01, I think that was the time of 7 o'clock, in reality I'd probably be in the air around 6:07, 6:08, 6:09, so yeah, real world physics versus X-plane physics, who's gonna win? In short, there. But as I say, overall, it's quite nice to, as I say, just recreate my own flights and do it in a way that you guys can also join me in them. I mean, fair enough, it's not quite the same as, I say, going to the Ryanair website, booking a ticket for £5, €10, and actually flying it, but it's a nice way for me to go on my travels, as I do a lot, let's be honest. And, yeah, you guys kind of just, enjoy my flying as well. I mean, the last couple of these premiere streams they've been alright. Actually have a look what the last one was. So Drawyah, Stansted to Stockholm, 160 views. That was a premiere. The flight outbound was 219, so yeah, it actually got quite a lot of views. That the previous ones got 70 and 99, so they're definitely growing in popularity ever since. In fact, 3-4 months ago, the PMDG ones 1970, the Zybo 219-160. So I'm definitely getting more of a push with X-Plane, which let's be well, I'm not going to say this again, but compared to where I came with from X-Plane, I created that satirical video, FSX user used X-Plane for the first time. That was a joke video, it was never meant to be taken serious, real, whatnot, but my word was I slaughtered for it. I could not touch X-Plane for months because all I did was annoy every person who played it just by even mentioning it. So yeah, it's a part of my channel that I'm not too proud of, I'll be honest. But I'm glad I'm now way beyond that. I'm actually at a time where, like I say, people can actually enjoy my content, watch it for what it is. And even now, I'm still learning to stay. I mean, at the end of the day, my system ain't too bad. I can run X-Plane, I can get some nice visuals in. It's all looking good and dandy. So, yeah, I'm sure saying in a year's time or so, me and X-Plane will be pretty good. Especially if I get my GPU upgrade for sure. If I can get a GPU upgrade, then I'll definitely be able to move forward. Right, top of descent, seconds away actually, if I just zoom in once more, 2.5 miles, I'll quickly go zoom in on that again, tablets, that's maybe a little bit too far away from that, no actually not really, go back, PA, descent, engines throtting down, aircraft's leaving cruise, give it a few seconds and then we'll turn on the seatbelt sign. So if we went tick, which means that may just be a flight update actually, keeping on my FMC, there you go, drag required, so I'll use the spoilers, just keep the speed down, the aircraft descending. And we need to be 1 altitude in that time. Was it 15,000? Yeah, flight level 1. You've given us 167 for that. We'll make it. As always, it's not quite the optimum descent rate for us.
Any bags you may have removed during the flight must now be restowed for landing, ensuring the main emergency exits and cabin aisle are kept completely clear of all baggage for landing. There should be no further walking or standing in the cabin aisle, and we'll be landing shortly. Thank you.
Alright, seatbelt sign can now come on for the last time. Won't illuminate the panel, I don't believe. No, but we got a seatbelt sign announcement, which is quite good. I just love the dynamicness of the Zybo. Ever since they've really updated the cabin to the new 737 model compared to the old MD-80, DC-8 even. Not even DC-8, sorry, it's the MD-80, here's the MD-80. Ever since they've updated the cabin, they've really just gone out of the ballpark there of just upgrading everything with the flights. So Zybo really has done a great job at, again, I wouldn't say it's overtaken the in the PMDG, but it's done a really good job at kind of getting to that level now. Still 1 or 2 areas of the FMC, which I noticed earlier on, trying to set up the flaps of departure. But also the ILS not working exactly as it should do. The auto land's not quite flaring you for touchdown. But besides those two, then yeah, I think they've done a really good job, the Zybo team. They've done a great job at getting it all together. What names again? They have got Zybo, what's his name, Zibek, who creates Zybo, Twix's flight model, and then you've got the Sounds by Audiobed XP, which is phenomenal. Again, I'm still 50-50 with Twix's flight model. He has the credibility of being a real-world pilot, but still, there are some people who would question his flight modelling skills. I mean, fair enough, it's kind of, it comes down to how he flies really, his style of flying, which is why he's probably got the flight model like that, so for him feels alright, but no two pilots will probably have the same opinion on how an airplane flies. Probably best have someone that's a bit more neutral on it. But aircraft on my right hand side actually, I was not expecting to see any traffic anywhere near Rzeszow this evening. Let's see if I can try and identify him. He's a Ryanair 8811. He's flying to Krakow. Is that him? I actually doubt it is. Because that guy's behind me, the Ryanair is at Krakow. Okay, yeah, it's the most likely answer then. That is the most likely aircraft. Throttles are going up, so spoilers I will now disarm. Weather's looking fairly clear at Rzeszow today. Few clouds, but nothing particularly overcast. When I checked the weather earlier on, it was also saying that the weather was clear, with visibility over 10 kilometers, so that's also good. I'll be able to see the runway from a couple miles out once I do fly over. There we go, passing through 20,000 now. Don't think I'd need to do much in terms of communications with Rzeszów traffic, because there is no Rzeszów traffic. I've got left hand in the moment. Nice to see some of the ground scenery kind of just coming to view now. We've got left hand in the moment, and that will guide us onto the makeshift approach we've created. Not really makeshift, that's kind of a standard approach for Rzeszów based on the chart I found, so you can call it makeshift, you can call this genuine. Go, passing through 16,000, which is what we should be at right now. Double check. There you go. So now need to be at 5270 down to 2500s by the time we get onto the arrival. Below 10,000, I'll then start setting the QNH as well as the landing lights and whatnot. Last check of the airport info here. Yeah, still says 1003. I don't quite believe that. Leave the camera, I'd say. About, yeah, I'll zoom out one more. Leave it there. So next time the aircraft comes into view, will be when we are on final. Probably the bit of the flight we shouldn't be distracted on, but I'm going to do it anyway. So head north of the airport. We'll see it from the right hand side in a couple of minutes. Thank you for being low enough that some of the 3D lights now coming back into view again, while the ground textures are disappearing slowly as well. Spoilers will arm again, just to kind of speed up our descent rate and whatnot. I mean, according to the green line, we should be at 2,500. about the time you get to the next waypoint anyway, so... In fact, yeah, we don't really need to worry too much about the airspeed. Just needs to get below 250 before 10,000. Auto braking, set to 2. Yeah, spoilers are currently up. They will automatically deploy once we touch down. Everything else looks pretty fine for our landing in a couple of moments. As co-pilot, may even get a visual of the airport now if he keeps an eye out. Be at a distance, but it will be to our right hand side. Yeah, should be dead right now. Let's see if we try to find this town. Look for the motorway. Based on the motorway, I know the airport just borders it. Should make it a bit easier to spot. I don't think I can. High pilots, you got a bit more of a view. No, not quite. Okay. So you can't see the airport just yet. I'm fairly sure you will once you come into final. Well, maybe it's because you're not actually quite next to the airport yet. Which is why I can't see it, so they're ahead of us by a little bit. Right, below 10,000. Landing lights on. Not the fuel pump, sorry. Landing lights. Weather check of EPRZ. QNH 1006. So standard altimeter 106. Oops. Nope, won't do that one. Co-pilot side at 1006. Yeah, I'm trying to keep an eye out maybe for the town of Jasionka, which is what the airport connects to. But even that I can't quite see. A bit more drag, just slow down the descent. Flaps out 1. Flaps down 2. Spoilers down. We won't do another set of flaps just yet, but actually that being said, seeing the right hand turn coming up just now, I think it may actually be wise to go for a slightly slower speed, just getting to get us back onto the glide slope. As long as we're at 5,000 by this point, 2,500 by the intercept, we will be alright. EPRZ traffic, approaching runway 27. Landing ETA 5 minutes, I think. 4 minutes. Have a right turn in a couple of moments. Cam lights will be turning off very shortly as well, so it'll be completely dimmed for landing. Yeah, since we're now coming in fairly slow, flaps down and ascending, the throttle will kind of just adjust and whatnot slowly to keep the aircraft airborne. Comes our right hand turn. We have one more to make after this. It's a very interesting slow turn this aircraft's taken for this. Almost as if it's refusing to turn. We're trying to keep it on the same flight path as well. It's not doing too good for our descent. We still need to be at 2.5 for the intercept. As long as the green line also puts it within the intercept as well, we should be alright. Also keeping on my VOR1 as well, which will be my Rzeszow information. At least my Rzeszow runway information, which will guide me when I've aligned. The motorway is just popped into life. Yeah, it's now close enough for me to see, but the airport not quite. Still slightly out of range for me. There we go. Now going to carry on descending. I've made that turn eventually. We won't adjust our flaps or gear anymore just yet. Go down to 10 degrees, yes. 3 more stages of flaps to play with. Another stage of flaps. It gives the aircraft the opportunity to slow down without causing much more pulsating of the throttle. About 4,000 kilos in each tank, so weight-wise it should be alright. Co-pilot may even have visual of the runway. I can see 2 dashed green lines. And there you go. We now have view of Rzeszow. Airport is now in sight. There we go. We have got the DME information for Rzeszow now, ILS. Well, now we're a little high. There you go, the aircraft will guide itself onto the right altitude's heading in a couple of seconds. I'm a little concerned by the gusting almost. Gear down. Definitely feels like a slight gusting at the moment. So that is something I will need to take into account. Once the aircraft does leave autopilot. We have one more stage of flaps. I will use that once we've aligned the runway. Hit on the localizer. Aircraft will now make a right turn, and once the localizer's hooked on, we'll then switch it into approach mode. There we go. Okay, wheels now in view on the tablets, making our final turn in towards Rzeszow. There you go, localizer now knows where we are. Autopilot 2 and approach. Flaps down at 30. The headwind we were enjoying earlier on, according to the reports, has now turned into a fairly heavy crosswind. The aircraft will have a fun time at gauging that. Single channel auto land, so we are now crabbing it on approach into Rzeszow. Very much crabbing it, I must say. Airport's to our right hand side. This will be a very skilled landing from me if I can pull this one off. Oh, this is going to be scary. Yeah, throttle will keep on pulsating. Are we descending anymore? I believe we are. Yeah, we are descending now. I have the runway in sight. I'm honestly quite scared of this one, actually. I've never dealt with a crosswind of this degree before, and especially not in X-planes, so it's a new experience for me. Fingers crossed I'll be able to deal with it. Right, come on, Drawyah. Come on, you've been doing this for so long now. It's only a light breeze, a light chop. As Delta Airlines would put it. Passengers will be happy. They know they're coming to land right now. They wouldn't be aware of much wind, other than maybe a light chop. 1,000 feet, so that's fine. I'll keep it on the ILS a little longer. 16 knot winds. The max of this aircraft something like 20, so... Right, let's do this. Auto throttle, disconnect. We've got a glide slope warning, but I am within the glide slope, maybe a bit to the left of it. The runway lights just pop into view. .261. We've bounced it. Reverse thrust. Keep it on the runway, please.
80 knots.
60 knots, reverse thrust cut. Yeah, very strong wind that. I actually have no landing lights, at least not being very bright. I can actually kind of see a taxiway coming to view now, so we'll be taking off of that. Yeah, lights are really not helping me right now. I cannot see much. My guess is down to the fact that our rendering is now set to medium. You don't quite give me as much of a view. But hey, we have made it to Rzeszow. We are still alive. Flaps up. Brakes off. Taxi lights on. Landing lights off. And now taxiing to gates. We possibly left the runway on the left hand side, I'm not 100% sure. We had a replay for that. But yeah, the winds were definitely putting a bit of havoc on the left hand side while I was approaching. So I'll be sure to look into that to kind of improve my crosswind landings for future as well. Clear of runway EPRZ. So announce that I'm no longer on the runway for those that are possibly landing, but very much not going to. APU can now come on. And in a moment I will have a left hand turn to make into the parking area here at Rzeszow. There we go, comes the turn point now. I will say this is not so much the Drawyah design scenery into play. This is X-Plane. I was testing it earlier, everything was pretty much perfect. The ground scenery lit up quite nicely, everything was visible. No issues in that regards, but now it seems to be a bit off. Anyhow, right turn coming up, and since Ryanair will not pay for pushback services here at Rzeszow, when we turn into gates, we don't quite go all the way. More, we just park up halfway up the taxiway ramp. A lot of Polish Airlines 734 to our right. And that should be enough distance for us. We should be clear of taxiway, which we are. Aircraft is held. Parking brake is set. And engines cut off. Quickly switch to APU power. AP bleed on, engine bleeds, whoops, off, packs come off, and taxi lights come off. Strobe lights now off, anti-collision off, logo lights off, plugins, ground handling show. Will require both sets of stairs since we do not have air stairs in the Zybo. And since this would be a turning around flight, we actually would require the fuel truck as well, just to come on up. Yeah, we're not doing much in terms of visibility today. Fuel's fine, fuel pumps can come off. That's left hand side needs to stay on due to APU. Then they would connect up the GPU, so set chocks connects GPU. GPU power comes on, APU off, APU off, APU bleed off. And with that, our aircraft is now secured. Next page, doors. Once the stairs have attached, which they seemingly have, yes they have, you can now open the forward stairs, aft stairs, and the forward cargo, which would be the only cargo door that Ryanair uses on the 737s. Just the fact that any other extra cargo would actually be charged for them on Ryanair, so you never need the cargo, you never use it. You can't quite see it again, I'm afraid, but we are here. We have made it to Rzeszow, slight crosswind landing, but as long as we have made it, we're fine. Smart cars of actual Ryanair. I will now finish the flights, There you go, AP is now cut. Project's flight, I will now go to the flight as well and complete flight. Landing rate overall 254. I'll accept that. It was not a good landing. The winds did not help with that, which puts my average landing rate at -1693 minutes in 18 flights. Not bad at all. Right, so let me quickly close the exits, because you know in explain replay modes they don't quite close the exits for you, Zybo. So make sure that's all secured. We'll then go to Squawk Box and disconnect. We'll then go to flights, replay. Go just to short final. How short? A little shorter I can do. There we go. Right, so go to night vision. It's 236.22. Right hand side view. Not too far to landing. Yeah, it just goes dark all of a sudden, because basically that there is the main road heading to Jasionka, which is the city the airport's in, or the town the airport's in. And then after that, yeah, it's just clear roads. We have one or two more coming through. Then we cross the airport perimeter road, which takes up to the motorway, before we end up on the actual airport threshold itself. So now we are over Rzeszow Airport. Now there's the old flight school, has since been demolished for the new dual carriageway I was talking about earlier. Here comes the runway lights, and down. Fairly secure touchdown. That's also a secure touchdown. At this point we are underground, just slowing down. That's when the set of the gear, yeah, what actually caused that very strong left hand push? That's the bit I'm interested in. Was the other gear slightly floating? That's what my only guess would be. We'll fast forward that into position and then skip into landing. So motorway view, left hand sides. As before, the approach itself fairly standard, slightly crabbing due to the crosswind, but nothing that the aircraft can't handle, as I keep saying, until we come into a touchdown later. Just look at the stream time as well, 2 hours 40. It really is a 3-hour stream this, gosh. In fact, when we do the next view replay, which will be exterior view, I actually tend to put the camera onto the motorway, kind of get the motorway view of the landing as well, kind of just see how the aircraft approaches them. There's something like shift 5 or 6, which goes to like ground view, so I'll quickly spawn in that as well. I won't do the whole landing from that view though, I'll just do a quick view of the approach. But anyhow, we are now coming in. Jasionka will come into view in a moment. So she does just the outhouses now down below. The outskirts of the town. Then yeah, we'll now come into main bit of Rzeszow itself, main bit of the airport. Not as much to look at. We do have a parallel runway for the flying school. A few hangars out there as well. And then in a moment the runway lights will come into view. There we go. So, first touchdown. That's the firm bounce. And then all of a sudden, yeah, we just pushed to the left there. I think we may have touched grass. So we'll do one more view of the landing. That'll do. She'll go back a little further. Okay, I'm stuck to this view since the okay, it's not quite much of a view actually because as you know, the lighting's not quite working, so it's just that. Anyhow, so short final. We're crabbing. At this point, lights come into view, and I now need to adjust onto the runway. In fact, even by crabbing, we're not doing too bad right now. Okay, I think I know what the error was. So yeah, we do touch down. I'll use the night vision actually for it, just for a better view. But I never adjust our crab. So when the left gear touched down the nose gear, that's what pushed us. We do leave the runway there for a moment, but we get back on. But basically my error there was, we crabbed to the landing, that's fine, but we never straightened out. I should have kicked in the rudder last second to keep the aircraft straight, but I never took that rudder effect into account. As a result, we go slightly off the runway and into the grass. No, that's a case of me not using enough rudder. I'm not using any rudder at all, which, yeah, was a mistake on my part. But, yeah, that is now that. So, that was me flying from Stansted to Rzeszow in the real world, and on sim as well. So for next week or so, I'm now just going to relax, enjoy myself, recuperate from a lot of busy work at the moment. And then on next Sunday, I'll be doing the return flights back to the UK. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the premiere. Leave a like if you did, do subscribe. I very much enjoyed recording this for you guys, so always love the support back as well. And, yeah, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, and good night.